Yeah, hello friends, hello everyone. Yeah, so web development, getting started, the beginner's guide, right? So this tutorial is going to, get you started and gives you the basic knowledge you need to have before you start your web development or even diving into it. It will help you and expose you to many other things. But before that, I want you to subscribe to this channel, okay? Just subscribe, hit the red button, and also click on the notification icon, and that's all. You are done, okay? So I'll be uploading more content for you. So we have more to cover. So let's move on, okay? So as websites are just like a document, and it's in the form of that way we write it and sometimes we code it, okay? So actually the main component of websites are the HTML, the CSS, and the JavaScript, okay? Actually the HTML is the backbone, okay? Without the HTML there will not be what CSS. I cannot do JS. So meaning HTML is the main component. Okay, so HTML, CSS, and JavaScript are the main components of the web for every website. Okay, so HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and is the backbone of the website. CSS is cascading styles, and this is what we use to style web pages and also websites and make it look nicer. And also the JavaScript, to talk about JavaScript, is actually programming language, and but it is being interpreted by the browser. Actually handles the click events, it handles notification, gives you notification. And so if you see a website that does a website that you can play games on, or a web page that consists of a part that has game, it means JavaScript is what is being used to develop that game. Okay, so we talk about the code and syntax that we write. For HTML, that's the markup language that we write. So everything here is made up of tags. Okay, so we have the title tag, title tag. So this means an open tag, right? And there is a close tag. So the open tag is just like the less than and the greater than, then a text content in it. Then also this one has the less than and the greater than, but also has a what? A forward slash. Okay, so that's the ending tag that we call it close tag, and is open tag. So the syntax is nearly almost the same as English. It's just like you are structuring a document. So we have the title, the body, the header, the paragraph, and all those stuff. So the open tag and the close tags are what makes up the HTML markup language. Okay, so as you can see, we have body, the body, which means going to contain all other elements. So when we talk about the element, is the body is an element. Okay, so the body element has an open tag and a closing tag, and which contains other elements in it. So these other elements will be known as the children, and the body will be known as the parents. So that's how HTML syntax works. So let's go to CSS. Okay, that's the style sheet. So as you can see, we have the element selector, the property, and the value. So here this is the element. So the body, this is the body element in the HTML. Okay, so when we select this, we'll give it a property. Okay, then we give it a value of the property, that's red. So this means that every element on the HTML with the name body, okay, will have a background color of red, right? So that is the same applies to this one. So we have the selector, which is the HTML, each one, then we open braces and close braces. We have what the property, which is the color. Okay, the color, this one is in hexadecimals. Okay, and also as well as the P, that's the paragraph. So this one we are styling the paragraph here. Okay, so this is the paragraph. So we are styling it, we are giving it what, a font size of 12px. That's the 12 pixels, okay, in short form. So mostly and every website has a style sheet, okay, to make it look nicer and presentable for users, right? So let's talk about JS. Okay, that's the handling of the interactiveness of a website. So it's just like a programming language. Okay, so this handles the on click, something like on click when a user clicks an event, and and talks about programming if set number is equal to 9, set timeout and function and those stuffs. It has those in it. Okay, so JavaScript is something like big. JavaScript handles everything. So JavaScript is also very important in every website. Okay, so to handle everything and whatever you want to do on the page, maybe you want to give notification before or give an alert, okay, before someone does something, or maybe you want to something like a newsletter, okay, something like a newsletter that pops up. So that are controlled by the JavaScript, right? So let's say since HTML, CSS, JavaScript are something that we write, so we need a text editors to write them. So here are the popular ones I would like to show to you. We have the Notepad++, the Atom, the Sublime Text, VS Code brackets. Actually, I use VS Code a lot because it has more extensions and actually it's cross-platform. Many of them are cross-platform, especially brackets, Atom, they are all cross-platform. And Sublime Text, I use it. It's very nice, very fast, and also has the syntax highlighting. So as you can see here, those people who use Notepad to write HTML and JavaScript and CSS, actually there's no syntax highlighting like this, okay? So that's why we recommend you to use these text editors, which has advanced form and intelligence to detect where there is a variable, a number, stars, there is a string, which is like a group of characters or a sequence of words. Okay, so this text editors helps you to organize your code very well by indenting them and also providing more functionalities in it. See, okay, so that's that. So we are talking about the browsers we use for development, or when you are developing a website, the browser you need to use. Okay, but there are most browsers around, but what I recommend is Chrome, Firefox, and Edge Chromium. This actually came from Microsoft and it just came just some time ago. Okay, so Firefox has been in the system for a while, and Chrome, yeah, the popular browser, which is very good in debugging and other stuff. So my recommendation is for you to use any of these. Okay, so you can do well, to help you do well in your web development project. So let's talk about the development parts. Okay, now every website and every project, okay, that we come across or we are doing, we have parts that we do, right? We have the front end and the back end. Okay, so the front end consists of the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and the back end consists of the server and the database, right? So what goes on here? The front end, it actually presents you, the view, okay, what the user sees, right? And the back end is what happens in the background, especially when you go to a website that requires you to log in. Okay, you see a test input, right, where you type in your test, like your password and your username. Okay, what happens in the background at the back end, but whatever you type at the front end and is being validated by the front end with the JavaScript, CSS, and yeah. So the front end also helps in validation by giving you this kind of red notification tests. Maybe your password is wrong and those stuff. So these are the front end, but the back end is what happens. That one we don't see it most often. So the front end is what we see, but the back end we do not see it. Okay, so they go in hand. Okay, so let's talk about them. So front end developers, okay, let's talk about the front end, those people who handle front end, right, when it comes to projects. So they consume data from the back end, right? So data are being sent from the back end, right? And they present it to the users. Okay, they structure the data very well and present them nicely for the users who uses maybe the website. And also they provide ways to request things to the server, right? Let's say I want to like there's this YouTube and I want to see channels. Okay, so when I click on maybe channels, then I'll see list of what channels. So this happens in the background and the request is being sent in the background that you do not even know about. Okay, so they send this to the server and the back end provides data to the front end for the front end to consume. And also the front end handles interactiveness. Maybe let's say when I click on the button, okay, then it pops up and giving me alerts that I have to subscribe using my email. So these are some of the things the front end also handles. So the front end handle the look of the web pages. As I said, front end developers, they do the styling and also the structure of the website, how the website will look like. If the website doesn't look nice, people will not have enough interest in your website. Okay, so they only use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, right? The front end developers, they use the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, so they use the JavaScript to request data from the back end, and then they consume it with the CSS and the HTML and things. That's what they do. Okay, so the front end, they uses the HTML a lot and the CSS and JavaScript. Okay, when we talk about the back end, so they provide data to the front end. So as I said, they will handle your data, maybe your password and maybe your username and your email account and your personal details. So they handle them. Okay, and also they process requests and sends back responses. So there's a way where maybe a user clicks on playlist on YouTube, right? So this is provided by the front end. Okay, so the front end allows the user to click on playlist. So this one will send an instruction to the back end. The back end, I need playlist. Okay, I need a group of playlists of videos. So that's where the back end will receive the request and also responds back with the necessary data, or will give it an error message. Okay, so the back end also ensures security of every data in the database. So these people, the back end developers, they actually provide enough security so that hackers will not steal vulnerable data from their websites for other means, especially when it comes to credit cards and stuff. So these back end developers also take care of the security of a website. Also they communicate directly to the server. Okay, so the backend uses several languages such as the Python, the PHP, Java, and Node.js to talk to the server. Okay, they talk to the server. Hey server, front end requested for some set of data and I need them. Okay, I need them from the database. So the server will talk to the database and the database will give it information. Give him the necessary information or the necessary data. Then the back end sends it to the front end, and this one keeps on going on, and that's how they communicate together. We can't use the front end to communicate directly to the back end. That one doesn't happen because front end are almost consumed by the browsers, right? And the back end will be handled by the servers, right? So let's talk about frameworks, right? You've been hearing of frameworks, libraries, frameworks. So frameworks are what? So frameworks are softwares that provide basic functionality of a software program, right? This software helps developers to cover most basic software functionality and as well as limiting the time spent on developing a particular software. So these frameworks also helps in achieving and meeting targets a lot. And also since it's made up of bunch of functionalities, meaning the basic functionality of maybe a web project, so it makes development very fast enough for developers to develop. Okay. So let's talk about the front. So frameworks for front end developers, right? So front end development, as we have the CSS, HTML, and JavaScript, we have Bootstrap as a front end framework. Actually, it provides CSS and JS based interface components, such as it has pre-built tabs. Okay, so you don't need to code everything from scratch. You just do the necessary things. Maybe you need to code some parts, add some classes, and then everything comes on. Okay, so that's it. So frameworks helps a lot. Angular JS is a JavaScript based front end framework. Actually, what Angular provides some of the basic routing like URLs and other securities and other navigations and other components of JavaScript, right? So they provide things such as state management and also how to handle data from the back end, API calls and other stuff. So actually here there are some this jQuery, right? jQuery is a library. Okay, library is not a framework, right? Library solves certain part of a programming language like JavaScript. So when you talk about jQuery, like write less, do more. So this one helps you to write JavaScript very fast and efficient. We have React.js, which is a front end library, right? Which is very popular nowadays. Helps you also to write JavaScript clean and nice. And we have also Vue.js, which is also a progressive front end library for JavaScript developers. Also, we have Ember.js. This one actually a framework, just like the Angular.js. Also provides basic things that you need to write, not you writing everything from scratch, okay, to waste time. So these libraries and frameworks are there to help you cover things much quick and faster. You have the Zeb Foundation. This one is a CSS framework. Okay, it's just like the Bootstrap, but also has advanced features. Okay, that you use something like the orbit and the carousels. Bootstrap also has carousels. Okay, so they are the same, but everybody comes with a different style guide. Okay, yeah. So when we talk about the back-end languages and their frameworks, always back-end is not being, run by the browser. It's being run by servers, okay? Servers that sit at, on supercomputers, okay? So we have the PHP, which is actually a programming language, which gets interpreted by a server, right? We have the Rails, that's the Ruby on Rails. So we have the Laravel and Python, Django, Code Igniter, MySQL, MongoDB. So let's talk about this kind of part. And I'm just saying it, but I want to give you some, brief knowledge in these things. Okay. So actually, Node.js comes from JavaScript. It allows you to compile or run JavaScript at the server. Okay. So like I said, JavaScript mostly runs at the browser side, right? But Node.js, has helped and has bring a way that we can write JavaScript at the server end. So we have the Laravel. The Laravel I talk about is a framework for PHP. Actually, PHP is a server scripting language. It's just like a programming language, but it's a scripting language. It doesn't get compiled like Java, C++, and the rest. So Laravel also provides some some things, and also have what the MVC part follows the MVC pattern for developing PHP website faster and very easy. So we have the Python, which is the Python Django. So the Python is a programming language, but it's a scripting language which gets interpreted by its interpreter, right? But the Django comes from the Python, okay? So the Django is a web framework that helps you to develop project very faster in using Python, okay? So that if you have the code igniter also as a minimal PHP framework, okay? So code igniter, you have the MySQL and the MongoDB. So the MySQL also handles requests from databases, okay? So we can use the server scripting language to ask things from the database. We use the database language with the MySQL. We have SQL, and we have this one is relational database model that is relational, and we have the MongoDB, that's non-relational ones, okay? So MongoDB also provides ways to speak to the database, okay, to retrieve information or retrieve data, right? Yeah. So let's talk about the version control, right? Most often and most times when we are developing projects, okay, so we have to develop it together. We can't say you want to develop it alone, but you want it fast and smooth. But if you join hands together, you can achieve whatever you want to do very fast. And so version control comes in to help these things and helps developers to handle projects from anywhere, remotely or locally, from anywhere. So version control is a system that records changes to a file or set of files over time so that you can record specific versions later. So this version control helps you to record part of program that you develop, okay? So maybe let's say we have Facebook, we have version 1 of Facebook, we have version 2 of Facebook. So these version controllers helps you to do that and manage them securely and also actually efficiently so that no data is being lost. So we have the Git source management service, we have the GitHub and the Bitbucket. So these are the popular ones I want to show you about, okay? So after I have developed my website and I want to deploy it, I need a file transfer protocol, okay? So I can't just go to where the servers are, or maybe a hosting service company, then have my pen drive with my website and I'll say, hey, please upload it for me. So this way I can do it whilst you are in the house by using a file transfer protocol, okay? So we have the FTP client, which we have the FileZilla, okay? So here, so we have the local site and the remote site, right? So the local site is where your website relies, and also the remote site is where the remote service relies. So you copy these files and you send it to the remote site, so that's where your site will now stay. It will not stay at the local host, okay? So the file transfer protocol helps you to transfer files from your local site to a remote site. So here let's talk about web hosting service. So we have the hosting it locally and we also hosting it remotely. So hosting it locally, we can have the XAMPP, which is the Apache, MySQL, and PHP and Perl. So there is a program which provides basic things that you need to host your websites on your local machine. And we have the remote hosting service, which has the SiteGround, the HostGator, DigitalOcean, which host our websites. Now I want to give you some quick note about CMS, okay? Actually, CMS is a content management system, and it's a software application that can be used to manage creation and modification of digital content. We have the WordPress, which is the most popular ones. This one allows you to build websites very faster and easy, and also very easy in a way that you can even host your website whilst editing it or making modification of your website. That's the content management that does that. Okay, so we have Squarespace, Wix.com, Magenta, Joomla, WordPress, and Drupal. And these content management systems helps you to do your work very fast and easy. Thank you very much. Like this video and subscribe to this channel, and that's what helped me to grow this channel. Okay, I'll be uploading more content to you, so see you next time in the next video. Thank you.